Hi, everybody. Brian Fewer here from the Media Room at High Point Regional High School to convince you that digital gaming is a viable medium of learning. From the Laureate Education video, second grade teacher Jessica Dooley said that gaming creates a feeling of playing. She goes on to say that the feeling of gaming with technology is that students are engaged, and the most important part of teaching is student engagement. That's from Laureate Education 2016. In a math classroom, there's not usually much play happening. Mathematics is a high-stakes tested subject where school scores and funding factors into it. Students need to learn a skill, and when they take the SAT, they cannot play a game while taking the test. With that being said, if I want my students to remember a topic, all I need to do is make the lesson fun somehow, and gaming is probably the best way to do that. Then when I move to the next topic, and I reference what we did on that gaming day with just a few keywords or phrases, they remember that previous lesson, and it becomes a stepping stone to the next topic that we'll discover. These are gaming's main benefits. As a teacher, I know that gaming to learn material has its challenges. I know it's definitely not the fastest way to make a topic stick in a student's mind, and it's definitely not going to push out a great deal of information quickly. I teach high school math, and as I probably do not need to tell you, math gets a little boring sometimes. As an educator who believes in manipulating the math when possible, sometimes, like today, I break out markers and rulers and scissors, and they need to touch the geometry or see why the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. However, there's other times when online gaming is the most effective way to hammer home a topic. In my experience, these are the lessons that they will remember because it was something different than the traditional math lesson. I work in a fairly progressive school, and as long as we cover the standards and students are learning, we have the freedom to approach the lesson from any angle. I currently use some research-based gaming applets and websites to make the impact of my lessons stronger. I think that just describing what I'm talking about will not be as effective as showing you, so I'm going to do that now. This is in geometry when we teach about lines on a plane. We have intersecting lines right now, and we can manipulate them in a 3D, 360-degree view. Students can look at parallel lines and then rotate them around. And when we get to skew lines, those are lines that are not intersecting, but they look like they cross from one angle, but then they don't. They really get a good view of what's happening. In statistics, we talk about making the line that best fits the points so we can make a future prediction. The sites also lets us fit a line like you see, and then it shows the error squares, and the total error that you see in the dark bold right here is when you get that to be the least amount possible, that is really what the best fit line is. There's no other way to teach this. This is the best way I've ever found, and kids can manipulate it on their own. Explore Learning is a fantastic website that allows you to manipulate graphs in real time. This is a quadratic graph. You can manipulate the A, the H, and the K. You can see where the green dots touch the x-axis. You can see where the vertex is, the blue dot. You can see what would happen to the purple dot when you move the line left and right. Sticking with learning about quadratics, there's a game on Desmos.com that plays a lot like the board game Guess Who. Instead of picking people, they get a grid of 16 U-shaped figures. They work collaboratively and use this dialog box on the right-hand side to eliminate some of these figures. Some of them will point down, some of them will point up, but they ask each other questions, and the teacher will see on their own screen a list of all of the questions they asked to see if they're relevant or not. This is an amazing website, and my students really love it. A big topic on the New Jersey State Standards is rotations, reflections, and translations. Gamifying this is invaluable. It's kind of a boring topic, but it's really relevant for anyone who is going to lay tile or possibly do artwork. So this is tangrams. You can take all of these shapes and you rotate them, and if you can see that there are 3 different levels. Right now, it doesn't show where all these pieces are going to go. The students have to decide where they go, and there can be no overlaps, and no shapes can go outside the lines. They must use all the shapes to complete this picture. It's great because students battle to see who can do this the fastest. They really like it, and it makes the topic come to life. Moving along to teaching high school seniors statistics. Gamifying this class is a little bit more difficult, but in the topic of probability, we talk about expected value. This is when you expect to gain or lose if you choose something randomly. Expected value is the probability of an event multiplied by the amount of times it'll happen. As you can see, the formula is on the screen, and the banker is giving us an offer of $5,400, but we expect the case to be about $6,400. That's why at this point we take no deal and we pick another case. It gets complicated in real life, but this TV game show that you probably have seen called Deal or No Deal makes it really easy, and students are engaged every single year. As you can see, we're down to 2 cases, one for $300 and one for $25,000. It becomes a little bit more exciting when you're going for more money, but we picked a good deal. We got $25,000, and all of my students are really excited about it. You can't talk about educational gaming in 2019 without talking about Kahoot or quizzes. Both are trivia games that allow students to get questions right for points, and the quicker you answer, the more points that you get. After each question, the leaderboard is updated in real time. As you can see, the top has the timer, and in this question we get one wrong and we get 0 points. You can see that I go down in my points. Students use their own devices. They can use Chromebooks for this. They can use any device that'll connect to the internet, and then they battle each other. Teachers can make up their own questions. They can insert graphs. They can insert images or photos. Anything they want. You can make as many questions as you think your kids can handle, or as little as you think your kids can handle. Some can be silly questions just to get them more involved in it. But as you can see, that at the end, there's a bunch of data that you can get right here, all in real time, and you can use this for tests or quizzes if you want to. Kids ask for this all the time by name. And we're back. To sum this up, our ultimate goal as teachers is to educate the learners of tomorrow. There is no point to presenting new material if what is being taught will not be retained. Digital gaming is an amazing tool to keep students interested, and gaming turns what they are learning into a fun and engaging environment. As Lieberman exclaims, video games are rich environments for learning problem-solving skills. These skills transfer because players are constantly challenged to tackle difficult problems. They control their learning as they experiment with various approaches to each problem and see the outcomes. That's from Lieberman, page 197. As I said before, the school district that I work in is an atmosphere where new ideas are welcomed. My administration and my colleagues have always developed and redeveloped lessons that allow emerging technologies such as gaming to happen in my classroom. Thanks.